New York. You know it's big news when we have Adam Schefter here with us. Adam, what can you tell us about what's going on with the Jets?
The New York Jets are hiring their former player, their former scout, Aaron Glenn, as their next head coach. So there's a new coach in New York. It is the coach that people have been waiting for them to hire. Aaron Glenn had been a leading candidate for the Jets, the New Orleans Saints, but obviously opted for the franchise that drafted him in the first round, a franchise he knew well. He flew in yesterday, spent the day with them, and now he is accepting a deal to coach with the New York Jets. It's a big deal for them, getting the coach that they want, a former player. It also continues the trend that has started across the league. We now see 5 current NFL head coaches coaching the team that they once played for. Aaron Glenn with the Jets, Mike Vrabel with the Patriots, Dan Campbell with the Lions, Jim Harbaugh with the Chargers, D'Amico Ryans with the Texans. So a lot of former players returning to their teams to coach them, and Aaron Glenn becomes the latest one to land a deal with the New York Jets, accepting an offer to become their head coach just minutes ago.
Okay, so one of the biggest questions into the offseason was who their head coach was going to be, but also what's going to happen with their quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. So what does this hire mean for Aaron Rodgers' future in New York?
Well, that's down the line. I would think they have to go get a general manager first. That will be the next order of business for this franchise, figuring out who they're going to match with Aaron Glenn. Then, once they have a head coach and a GM, organizationally, they can sit down and decide what's best. Plus, Aaron Rodgers has got to decide that he wants to play, which we don't know that that's going to happen yet. So he's got to go through his process. The Jets have to go through their process. And then, obviously, down the line, we'll figure out what that means for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, all right. This leaves the Lions without their OC and DC now. Dan Campbell obviously has a lot to work out this offseason. Amina?
All right, here with our NFL analyst, Jason McCourty. You heard the news right there. Aaron Glenn going to the Jets. Your reaction to that news?
Well, you get fired up because everything you've heard about Aaron Glenn is that he is a leader of men and his ability to connect with the guys in the locker room. This is a Jets team that had high hopes a season ago, and they kind of fell on their face. So now enter Aaron Glenn, coming to a familiar organization with an opportunity to turn things around. And Christine just said it, the question marks are going to come. Who's going to be the offensive coordinator? Who's going to be the quarterback taking the ball from under center? But for right now, for the New York Jets, you got a guy that was coveted in this search with other teams, and you have a guy that's going to lead this franchise and tell people how it is in the locker room.
And then Aaron Rodgers said after the season that he'd wait until the coach and GM were hired in order to make his decision on his future. What do you think this all means for Aaron Rodgers moving forward?
I think for him right now, you're settling in from a long season. You're figuring out what's next. And I think the next thing will be a conversation with Aaron Glenn and getting a chance to know each other. At Aaron Rodgers' age at this point, you want to make sure you're in a situation that's advantageous to you and you know where the organization is moving, so you're knowing you're prepared to go out there and perform in year one. But with all that being said, the Jets have to decide that they want Aaron Rodgers to be back, and that has to be a mutual relationship. But this is the first thing that gets this started to build a relationship to see if there's going to be a future for both sides.
Yeah, definitely interesting to see how this situation will play out. But also, you got to feel for the Lions as well, losing their offensive coordinator and their defensive coordinator. Dan Campbell has a lot of work to do during the off season. Jason McCourty with the latest. Thanks so much.
So the Jets have a coach, but some teams are still playing. The NFC Championship is on Sunday. The Eagles face the Commanders for the 3rd time this season. The team split the first 2 meetings. So this one is for all the marbles and a trip to the Super Bowl, of course. Eagles coach Nick Sirianni talked today about that matchup. It's new on SportsCenter.
Anytime you play somebody multiple times, you're going to know things about them. But again, going back, they're going to have new wrinkles for us that we're going to have to, and like I said, we're going to have new wrinkles for them. And it'll be a game of, hey, they're doing this off of that, and we're going to have to adjust to things. So you see the things that he hurt us on last game, and you try to correct them, and I know they're doing the same.
All right, our Eagles reporter, Tim McManus, joins us now live. So, Tim, we saw Jalen Hurts get tackled very awkwardly against the Rams. He didn't miss any plays, but what's the latest on his health?
Yeah, Hurts is dealing with a left knee injury. Now, Coach Nick Sirianni did say that he will be out on the practice field today as the Eagles go through their walkthrough, and he is expected to play. The question is, how mobile is he going to be? The people that I've spoken to around the situation, there's still some uncertainty about how well he's going to be able to move against the Commanders. And you could really see the difference after he got tackled against the Rams last week. Check out these numbers. Before he got tackled, 6 carries for 71 yards before the injury. Afterwards, 1 carry for -1 yards. It was a big deal, something obviously we have to monitor throughout the course of the week.
Yeah, that was very tough to watch. On the other side, the rookie quarterback, Jaden Daniels, coming off of 2 great playoff performances. What has the team said about the challenge that he presents to them?
Yeah, defensive coordinator Vic Fangio had the best line when he said he may be young by birth certificate, but not by tape. And all-pro linebacker Zach Baun had a similar sentiment. He said he doesn't play like a rookie, and we're not going to treat him like one. Now, the Eagles went 1-1 against the Commanders and Daniels this year. One positive thing is that they were able to generate takeaways. So Daniels only has 9 takeaways on the entire on the entire year. The Eagles are responsible for 3 of them. And as Baun said, takeaways are kind of our specialty. That'll be another key. They have 6 of them through the postseason so far. If they can get a couple more, that'll be a good sign that they can get their ticket punched to the Super Bowl.
I like that they basically just said, that is a grown man. Stop calling him a rookie. Tim McManus, thank you so much.
Well, the Eagles still have nightmares of Jaden Daniels. Of all the QBs the Eagles faced this season, no one threw for more touchdowns or ran for more yards in a game, and that's going to be a bit of a problem. Jeremy Fowler joins us now live from Washington. And Jeremy, you heard from Jaden's head coach today. What's he saying about his rookie QB in this spot?
Well, Amina, Quinn echoed what really everybody inside the organization always says about Jaden Daniels first thing off the bat. He is unshakable in big moments. He just doesn't seem to ever get rattled no matter the situation. In fact, Quinn took it a step further, compared him to a classic movie character. Check this out.
He's got rare in-the-moment skills that have allowed us to be into this spot when it's, like mental chaos going down in 2 minutes in these tight moments where it could feel that tight. He's got the experience of somebody that's played a lot more football than a first-year player. He can stay in it a really long time. He does not do this. And some of the times you see him excited or maybe just smiling at the end when we were going to victory formation, because like on the sideline, he is the Terminator. Like there's not a lot of stuff that's going to go on externally. He can really stay in it.
Now, we just caught Daniels and the Commanders on the practice field in the indoor facility. They were doing some light stretching, and in fact, they just got done. Ever since December, they've been doing a much lighter practice, about 45 minutes to an hour. They've stayed fresh as a result. They've been surging ever since. Now, watch for the Commanders also tinker with the offensive line a little bit because of Sam Cosmi, their star guard, out for the year with an ACL.
The Terminator, not a bad comparison at all for Jaden Daniels. Jeremy Fowler with the latest. Thanks so much.
So many good quarterback matchups this weekend. Over in the AFC, this will be the 4th time Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes face each other in the playoffs, and no shocker considering the Chiefs' most recent success. KC has won the previous 3 meetings. Allen is 4-1 against the Chiefs in the regular season, including a win in Week 11. Patrick Mahomes spoke today. It's new on SportsCenter.
It's just 2 really good football teams going up against each other. They have great players at every level on both sides of the ball, and they're well coached, and so when you play great football teams like that, it kind of usually ends with kind of that split type of deal there. And so we've been able to beat them in the playoffs, and they've gotten us in the regular season. But if you look at the games, every game's close. So it just comes down to a play here or there that kind of usually it makes an impact on the outcome.
As I said, another matchup between Mahomes and Allen in the postseason. They'll now be tied for 2nd most meetings between quarterbacks in the Super Bowl era, trailing only Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. As we mentioned before, Mahomes and the Chiefs have gotten the better of that matchup all 3 times.
Still ahead on this edition of SportsCenter, the Bears got their new coach. Now he gets to meet the Chicago media. What Ben Johnson said today and what Jason McCourty thinks he needs to do now. And is it getting drafty in here? The cold wind blows in the form of Mel Kiper. why he's got one QB at the top of his draft board, but a different one at the top of his first mock. And we're live with the AFC Conference title teams, the game plan for the Bills and the Chiefs as they look to make their Super Bowl cases this Sunday.
And they'll try again, 2nd and 10. They'll fake the handoff. Now Smith. And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack.
Okay, you know my bias is about to come out here. A lot of people think that the offense is just moving in the wrong direction. I'd say they're moving in the right direction because the defense is pushing them back.
Former defensive guy. Now, as a quarterback, 3rd and long, you really got to rally the troops here, don't you?
Yeah, you're doing a big way, and what else do you have to look out for? More pressure coming at you because it seems to be working pretty well.
3rd and long, it's Smith escaping the pressure right. Slings this deep. This is caught inside the 15. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington. Capital at FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland. They love their football in this part of the country, and this crowd is ready to go as their guys will match up with the Buffalo Bills. Two teams more than ready to get this one started. And we are underway from FedEx Field. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
A pretty decent game. Other quarterbacks, they have a hard time getting past it and often put the ball up for grabs the rest of the ball game.
And a productive gain out to the 14 after starting at the 7. It's a gain of 7. 7 yards the pick up there. 3 yards remain for 2nd down. Fitzpatrick now. Slings this deep from McLaurin. It got his man complete. And all the way down to the 24-yard line. Quite a show of arm strength right there. That was in the air for a long time, and it was on target, too.
And from where we sit, if you had told me that that ball was somehow going to get from point A to point B, I would have told you no way. I mean, that was an absolute cannon shot, and he still dropped it right on the money, too.
And that ball traveling 68 yards in the air, according to Next